Supervisors. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the September 6th, 2016 regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion and a second on the minutes. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes carried. Item number 2 is to receive and place on file any drainage repairs. We have one turned in by Lynn Adson from Vincent. DD number 59, Badger, section 9, replace one intake on the east side of the ditch, and they will mark it with a flag. We have another one of DD 295, Badger, section 23, fixed broken intake and ditch, turned in by Larry Larson. And we have another one, DD 58, Badger, section 3, explanation repairs is broken off surface drains, turned in by Randy Lindbergh. DD 43, Newark, section 22, blocked tile line, possibly tree roots or crutch on the east end of Arthur Street. That is it.
I'll move to receive and place on file the Florida Red Drainage repairs.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the drainage repairs? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 2 carries. Item number 3 is to accept and place on file the hiring and employment of Maddie Dickerson and Alicia Seward, home care aides, effective September 19, 2016, at the rate of $11 per hour, per recommendation of Carrie Prescott, Director of Public Health.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
What's the difference between hiring and employment?
Carrie, Bob has a question for you.
It reads hiring and employment. So we hire people who we don't employ.
That is a letter that was sent over by your HR, so,
So not your fault.
well, no, my letter said please employ, so.
Sure it's right. I don't know.
I'm so happy we decided to start videotaping this today.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, swell. Moving right along.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 3 carries. Item number 4 is to approve the salary increase for Jesse Albright to $16.77 per hour, effective September 29, 2016, per labor agreement.
Move back.
I'll second this motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 4 carries. Item number 5 is to accept and place on file the status change of Megan Sprucker, registered nurse, from part-time to full-time, effective September 26, 2016.
Be willing to make that motion, Mr. Chairman?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 5 carries. Item number 6 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign a proclamation naming September as National Recovery Month.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the proclamation as September is National Recovery Month. Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have anybody here to speak?
Good morning.
My name is Sean Connor. I'm a prevention specialist with Community Family Resources.
And I'm Michelle Delariva. I'm the Executive Director at Community Family Resources. Would you like us to read the proclamation?
Yes, please.
All right. You want to do that?
Yes.
All right. All right. The National Recovery Month is this month, so we're very pleased to have all of you present for the reading of our proclamation. Whereas behavioral health is an essential part of health and one's overall wellness, and whereas prevention of mental health and substance use disorders works, treatment is effective, and people recover in our area and around the nation, and whereas preventing and overcoming mental and or substance use disorders is essential to achieving healthy lifestyles, both physically and emotionally, and whereas we must encourage relatives and friends of people with mental or substance use disorders to implement preventative measures, recognize the signs of a problem, and guide those in need to appropriate treatment and recovery support services. And whereas in 2014, 2.6 million people aged 12 or older received substance abuse treatment at a specialty facility, and 35.5 million adults aged 18 or older received mental health services, according to the 2014 National Survey on Drug Use and Health. Given the serious nature of this public health problem, we must continue to reach the millions who are in need of help. And whereas approximately 100,000 Iowans currently receives treatment for mental illness or substance use addiction, and whereas to help more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, the White House Office on National Drug Control Policy, and the Webster County Board of Supervisors invite all residents of Webster County to participate in National Recovery Month. Now therefore, I, Mark Campbell, that's what I actually mean, Board Chairman, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of Webster County, do hereby proclaim the month of September as National Recovery Month. In Webster County, and call upon the people of Webster County to observe this month and appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies to support this year's recovery month. I, in witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hands this 13th day of September in the year 2016. I also would like to invite you, we are having a family fun festival in 2 weeks on September 25th. So it's on Sunday at Olson Park. It's free to the public. We're having a DJ. Actually, our board president's doing the DJ, so it'll be a lot of fun. We have lots of prizes that we're handing out. We have our kids from our adolescent program are making balloon animals, so that's one of the things they're really excited about doing. And all of the food and fun is there for everyone. It's yeah.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you guys there.
Questions or comments on National Recovery Month? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor of making September as National Recovery Month, say aye.
Aye.
Item 6 carries. Item number 7 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign a utility permit from Prairie Energy to replace overhead electrical lines along Xavier Avenue from 200th Street south to 2121 Xavier Avenue in sections 25, 26, and 35, Township 89 North, Range 27 West, Colfax Township.
Chairman, I move item 7.
Second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion and a second. Randy?
If you have any comments, everything looks okay to me.
Questions or comments from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 8 carries. Item number 9 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign utility permit from Prairie Energy to bore underground electrical cable across 200th Street to substation in section 22. Oh, I apologize, I said 8. Item number 8, approve and authorize the chair to sign utility permit from Prairie Energy to bore underground cable across 2027 Xavier Avenue in section 26, Township 89 North, Range 27 West, Colfax Township.
More than pleased to move there.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 8 carries. Item number 9 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign a utility permit from Prairie Energy to bore underground electrical cable across 200th Street to substation in section 22, Township 89 North, Range 27 West, Colfax Township.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 9 carries. We're now going to jump ahead to citizens' opportunity to address the board with items not on the agenda due to a closed session at the end of this meeting. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir. Step up, state your name and your address.
Good morning, my name is John Anderson, address 2735, 286th Street, Lakewood. I'm on my bucket list, so I bear with me. These are 3 items that have been accumulating over years. Number 1, when do we, or do you guys, who decides when we can mow the ditches out in the county? You know, for hay? Who does that?
We have a practice policy we've been following for quite a few years. As far as, some of this is in coordination with the county conservation department. They have an IRBM program.
Okay.
Usually we mow the paved routes, one swath in the spring around Memorial Day, give or take.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we do 2 swaths after the 4th of July, and we have to do more. But that's all we do on paved routes. So once again, I want to stress, 1 swath, first cut around Memorial Day, and then 2 swaths later. And then as far as gravels, there's no program to cut all the gravels. We have 2 identical larger mowers and 1 smaller mower. And what we try to do is prior to winter, in the fall, try to cut some of the gravel areas.
Well, okay, we're on 2 different pages.
Okay.
I understand exactly what you're talking about, and that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not complaining anything about at all about any of this.
Okay.
Where I'm running into a conflict is, some of the neighbors will mow a ditch for baling on such and such a time. Then I've had other people say, well, John, you can't mow until after the 15th of July because the DNR has, and so I'm fielding all these questions, and we have some scoundrels out in the southern part of our wonderful county that like to say, well, the neighbor gave me permission, and they start mowing like who tied the pup, and nobody seems to know, the right hand doesn't know what the left one's doing. So I thought, well, I'll come up here and find out who's in charge of this. Is there a set date? And if I or anybody finds someone else mowing without, prior to that date, do we take their birthday away, or do we lock them up, or what? And I think these are legitimate questions because, I mean, some of us like to promote the wildlife and, things going on in life.
Yeah. I'll try to continue to address these comments. It's in the code, not too many years ago, I want to say less than 10, where the legislators passed a code section that says you're not supposed to mow until after July 15th. But there's our Engineers Association learned there's no enforceable penalty.
Okay.
I think that makes it a strong suggestion, I guess. So there's no attempt on our part from the Secondary Road Department to enforce it. I can't speak for Matt Cosgrove and the RVM.
Right. I
So
understand.
that's that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in addition, there are areas around the county where there are native grasses planted. And we know where they exist. They're
Right.
not numerous, but there's
Yes.
a couple handfuls out there, and we avoid those.
I got one ditch myself that has been donated or designated as that, so that's fine.
And then, in addition, and I don't have the ordinance in front of me, ordinance 028, it's ordinance about controlling the road right away. It does state that you need a permit to work in the right of way. However, it exempts those who want to mow and hay the ditches as long as they don't violate our IRVM program.
So Randy, who grants permission to hay in front of his house?
We do not unless we have less than one hand people come in and want to get a permit. That is and when they do ask, I say, I'll authorize you to go in the right of way, subject to the adjacent landowner also approving. Because I think it's not widespread, I don't think, but there's probably more than I think out there that some people do mow the ditches and harvest the hay for their personal benefit. And they fail to contact the county or courtesy contact the adjacent landowner. The county road right of way is under your jurisdiction, your authority. And again, ordinance 28 says you can mow and hay the ditches violate our vegetation program, the integrated vegetation management program. But I understand his issue, and I don't know how we enforce that. When I drive down usually the paved routes, because I'm wider, and I see somebody mowing, I don't take the time to see if that's the intent of the owner or the owner mowing. It just happens.
Well, you've got more important things to do, and I'm not saying, I'm not asking. I just want to know where we stand with it, so that when people ask me, I think something, not that they would be uncomfortable coming up here and asking you, it's just that they recognize me and say, okay, what is the real going on? Okay, so the bottom line is more or less is a gentleman's agreement between the mower and the landowner. If they say, yeah, you can go in and mow, then they can go, and the 15th of July is it's not necessarily an arbitrary date, but is one that the DNR likes to look at, but still there's no enforceable.
Yeah, I can't quote how it's worded, but it's truly in there, and it spells out July 15th. I don't know if the word shall not or whatever, but my understanding, there is no ability to enforce that.
Okay, all right. I don't want to take more time. I got two more things, if that's all right.
No, you're fine.
I'd make this comment or just throw it out. It would seem reasonable to me to discuss at least the possibility for an ordinance or timely process concerning this subject. In other words, after the 15th of July, I don't think there's a problem with that. Number two, some kind of a process whereby you have apply, if you will, or you get some kind of a permit. If that's corrects the situation, why not?
I think it would help. The thing is, it'd be good if we had some kind of standard, if nothing else, a policy or an understanding about the steps needed to be taken. And it's been going on for many years, and so we'll just leave it at that, and we can visit that. But okay, item number 2. I don't want to open up Pandora's box here. Weed czar. Do you have a weed commissioner or someone like that?
Yes, we do.
And who is that?
This year,
Andy
Stanford, Andy, yes, Andy.
Okay.
What's in the conservation department?
Okay, so now, is this, once again, is this musk thistles? Is that on the list of obnoxious weeds that must be controlled?
I can't quote the entire, they adopt a policy, the board does, with input from Andy and conservation. But I believe our goal right now is to spray half the county approximately for Canada thistle, and then we also try to address leafy spurge. The budget allows for approximately half the county each year, and in addition, we do have a brush and tree sprayer.
Okay. Well, the page I want to be on is this. Is there a list of obnoxious weeds that we as landowners are supposed to, by law, control?
Might want to, the policy you adopted annually
We would
spells
have to
that
get
out.
you a copy of the policy the county adopted, and we could have Andy give you a call or stop down and go over it with you.
Okay.
He's very good at it.
All right, well, what I'm getting at is there any enforcement of this? I mean, like if I've got a neighbor that has got 10,000 million musk thistles growing on his property and doesn't do one thing to control them, and we are out on our property controlling ours, hey, or are we going to just slap their hand and take the birthday away?
We'll bring Andy into it, and he'll help you with
Yes,
that.
Okay.
and they reported to Andy.
Yep. Okay. And then the last item on my agenda, thank you for your patience, on the 2 miles coming down to my place, Mark, you've been there, I'm sure. So anyway, the point of it is that the address of this acreage is 2897 Racine Avenue. Now, it's on that T intersection, and it's pretty blind because of the outgrowth of the tree, brushes and brush and all that. But now the point is that there's this huge tree, part of it, and it hangs completely over the gravel road. And it's all right, it snags some of my round bales as I'm driving through. Your county dump trucks can't raise. The maintainer, he gets hit by it going underneath. But my concern now is that we've noticed the school bus is starting to go down the road. And so I think it's time that instead of enjoying nature and watching the tree, since we're talking school buses, that maybe something should be done. And that address again is 2897 Racing Ave.
Okay. How we address tree issues, when I described the base of the trees probably outside the right of way. But
Yeah, you know, it's in his
I
yard.
think it's a touchy area, year after year, there's some issues, but I think we have a right to cut the drip line off as we see fit, from the fence line in, and it might take some creative equipment to do so. Or I could approach, the landowner and try to reason with them and say, I'd like to cut the tree down.
John?
Well, yes.
Is this the appropriate property here? You're talking with these right here?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So it'd be those.
Yeah, there you go. And right at that intersection there, well, you can see the trees right there on the corner. Yeah. Anyway, boy, that's an old one because those trees have really grown up, and now they're going clear over to the east side of the road. Well, Randy, my wife and I'd be glad to cut the tree down if Jim would like to stand guard, because the owner is, we won't go there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other questions or comments from the public? If not, Board of Supervisor reports.
I have nothing except that I've put a call into the DOT. I'm continually getting questions as to when the section of road from Fort Dodge going over to Webster City on Highway 20 is going to be completed. It seems like from time to time there's minimal activity, and then I was there yesterday and they're going like crazy over there. So I will have a report back to you next week in terms of the timeline and the date of completion, projected date of completion. That's it.
Randy, did you get that address in 2897?
2897 Race C.
John will have him follow up with that for you.
Thank
Get back to you on that. If not, I would accept a motion to go into closed session pursuant to code section 21-5J to discuss purchasing Iowa Department of Transportation gallery maintenance garage at 701 Walnut Street.